If you've ever asked yourself, why won't my kid just try? Why do they spend so much time arguing with me or resisting it? Well, you're not alone. You're probably wondering, is my kid really just lazy, unmotivated? What's going on? Why are they so difficult when I ask them to do some things, not all things? What if really what was happening, it wasn't laziness at all, but actually their brain is shutting down? Let's dive in so we can talk about why your kid is struggling with motivation and, of course, what to do about it. We often, as parents, think our kids, when they are resisting something, that it's an I won't. And we're not really thinking about it as their nervous system can't at that moment. Because I don't want you to think we over pathologize and we often think our kids' behavior means they have ADHD or a mood disorder or something more. But we're in this place in the world where people are very dysregulated, and so are our kids. The lazy label, all it's serving to do is feed shame in kids. And shame is one of the worst things that can happen because it will suck the self esteem and the confidence out of your kid. And honestly, you can have a kid who doesn't have a lot of capabilities, but has a whole lot of confidence, and what they can achieve is remarkable. You can have a kid with a lot of abilities and is full of shame, and they are not going to achieve in the same way. Shame is a horrible thing. And when we call our kids lazy, we actually remove parenting power, remove the power of our kids because we're not understanding the nervous system and its role in the struggle. So that's why we're here talking about regulation first parenting. Well, I remember I worked with somebody, her name was Amy, and very typical parent. She was spending probably a couple hours every day with her kid who was crying over just literally getting started with her math work. Like, she hated math, this kid. She wasn't even bad at it. She just hated it. She wasn't like, Dr. Rowe, I'm terrible at math. Instead of just doing it and getting started, she was like, she just is lazy. She won't do it. But honestly, the stress of the math caused her daughter to really push back. Her brain was just frozen. We'll get back to that. What's the science behind laziness, low motivation? Well, we know what happens when stress happens. And stress can show up, right? An activated nervous system, you already know this, can show up as understimulation or overstimulation in behaviors. It looks differently. Some of us, I talk about this all the time. I'm like a stress slayer. I'm a bit stress inoculated. I don't look at stress in the same way because I have such strong executive functioning. I'm a problem solver. I'm also daughter of immigrant parents who were like, hey, there's only solutions. And it's just a great way to look at things. Not everybody is that way, and temperament plays into it. But we have the real world. I did a bunch of things this week, and I did 2 days of virtual training, like all day. And I know that just sort of energetically sucks the life out of me. And yet I thought on Saturday I would just rise to the occasion. But I was like a slug, and I could barely even move. I went and got an IV because that always helps me. That was my body's response. I literally couldn't do stuff. I was so exhausted. My kids were talking to me and I was like, "You guys, my brain is like mush." And they don't usually hear me say that, so they were like, "Oh." It was like, "Give me a second when I'm talking to you. Why isn't that the same for a kid?" And we can misinterpret that as laziness. Your kid isn't like, "Wow, those lights at school are bothering me all day." And the zzz. I have a colleague who cannot handle the lights in my office. And when she comes there, certain rooms have those lights in them that are like school lights, not all of them. She's like, "Turn it off." And she gets so activated. It's instead of just saying like, "I know, Roseann, you get it." What's that science? So as soon as we're stressed, our frontal lobes, which control focus, planning, shuts down under stress. That's just biology. And that's what's happening. Your kid is stressed. In this case, Amy's daughter was really stressed about starting math. And so she comes in, boom, executive functioning offline. There's no planning. That task initiation and follow through that is required to complete a task is not happening because we have a dysregulated nervous system. Motivation requires regulation. A calm brain gives you access to planning systems. Just the previous episode, please go back and listen to it about executive functioning. When our brain is calm, we can get into that file cabinet, we can find files. When it is not, file is locked. The file cabinet is locked. You're not getting in there. And then what also happens besides frontal lobe, executive functioning, stress hormones block action, right? Cortisol and adrenaline keep kids scanning for danger, not doing tasks. And again, real or perceived stress, it doesn't matter. Your body knows no difference. And even good stress, like I told you, I did the 2-day training, it was a good training. It wasn't like it was anything bad, but my nervous system doesn't like that. It doesn't like sitting here the whole time. I also didn't get up as much as I normally do, which I really try to do a lot, like every hour just to get up, and I didn't. I don't know why. I think because I was really into the training and they did something special because I didn't go and I was the only one on virtually. And I felt like if I got up and moved, it would be disrespectful. That was silly. Again, kids, they don't know what they need. Here I'm an adult. I know what I need and I still didn't fall through. Super important to understand what's happening biologically. These things can be addressed when we regulate. Rewards aren't going to fix this. No chart, no punishment is going to flip that brain back online. We hear this on a lot of clinical disorders like autism, pathological demand avoidance, which isn't technically here in the United States, but it's elsewhere in the UK, where in pathological demand avoidance and even autism and ADHD, you see this. These kids have some type of stressor, sensory, anxious avoidance, different things where that causes you to really, really resist tasks. And remember, shame creates a wall. So as soon as that shame switch is turned on for a kid, I'm not good at this. I can't do this. This is hard. I don't like this, and therefore I can't do it. Boom, wall is up. This is not a good wall. This is a wall. If your kid is staring at their homework like it's Mount Everest or doing the dishwasher, whatever it is, it's not laziness. It's their nervous system saying, I can't climb this right now, right? And again, some kids are more prone to this. We get caught in repetitive behaviors. Our nervous system will fall into habits. We all have habits, healthy and unhealthy, so we can change this. What are signs of dysregulation that are not laziness? Melting down before starting hard tasks or even simple tasks, things that could be easy for them, but you definitely see this in hard tasks. They hyper focus on screens but avoid effortful work that requires a little bit of doing something that is a smidge outside their comfort zone. We see emotional outbursts during transitions, motivation swings, very dependent on what they're eating, their sleep, the routine, all of these things. If there's changes, right? These are kids that have low flexibility and are highly affected by environmental demands. Again, we all are affected, but these are the kids that's like, I had a kid that I was like, oh, I got to have it like this. He's get a certain amount of sleep. I need to get this protein in. I have to do this. Otherwise, it was like tough times, to put it mildly. So what do we got to do? You're like, Roseann, I got it. Their brain is like responding to stress. It's causing over and under stimulating. What are we doing? Number one, you know what I'm going to say. Got to regulate first. So breath, soft tone, calm presence, you regulating first. Ideally, want to put in some regulation steps in there. We're going to talk about that. We're going to scaffold for them. Scaffolding is temporary, people. We're not helicoptering. We're not walking on eggshells. We're not doing all these things. We need micro steps, right? One sentence. Don't do the whole essay. Break it down and help them with the little steps, whatever it is. Because once they see that homework, they're seeing it as Mount Everest. The people don't go, I'm just going to the top of Mount Everest. They have to go to the base camp. So we talk a lot about this in our brain behavior reset program. And if you're interested more in our brain behavior reset program, I would encourage you, because I won't be doing this forever, you can go to drroseann.com/help. So we scaffold, then we co-regulate the launch pad. So you're going to sit with them for one step and then fade. Regulate, get them started, move away. Let them start doing this. You're going to, depending on where your kid is, you may need to sit there longer. This is not forever, people. It's like everything else. They're going to need you for a bit and then the training wheel. And then you're going to catch effort early. Praise micro wins. You open the book. This is a great way to get started. I love that. Not, it took you 5 minutes to open that book. No. Oh, I'm glad you opened that book. That's great. Let's get started. Fantastic. We want to get their brain attuned to the small wins because when you're shut down like this, it is negative Nilly. Like it's not good. So predictable routines, same time, same order equals less stress. It's one less thing the brain has to think about. Really, really, really important in terms of brain learning is predictability and routines. For those of us that, were teaching our kids in the middle of the pandemic, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That predictable routine fell apart. And some kids was hot messes. Micro resets, critical, stretch, water, breathe between steps. Just like I didn't get up and move. I know I need to move every hour and I didn't. And so 2 days later, not that day, not even the next day. It was the third day after Dr. Rowe was like mush on the couch. Almost never happens to me. I wasn't even ill. I was just, my nervous system was like, I'm done. You've had a lot of things. We rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Everyone's looking for the shiny new thing, people. It's predictability, it's consistency. It's critical for that nervous system to regulate. So those micro resets, critical. Remember, just like brushing your teeth, we need to have small bits of regulating. 10 minutes a day is all we need. Everybody's got 10 minutes. I don't care how busy you are. And then we need predictability for learning to occur. Once we regulate, the learning just can amplify. It's not to say that if you're dysregulated, you can't learn at all. It's just very small window of being able to do that. And it's not sustainable. So the next time you say or think lazy, pause and say, is their brain regulated enough to start? It's just that reframe gets you thinking so differently about what your kid can and can't do. And if they're not regulated to start, what are you going to do? You're going to regulate yourself first. You're going to help your kid regulate because when you change this and you start thinking and you start with this one question, it's going to change everything at home. So, for more regulation first tools, all you have to do is sign up for my newsletter. You can go to drroseann.com/newsletter. You get unbelievable tips for free in your inbox every week. And I hope this was really helpful and in getting you to really understand just how important regulation first is. And you've got the power to do it.
Want more insights and solutions? Well, subscribe to our Dysregulation Insider and it will show up in your inbox every week.